Hi everyone, I'm Chloe Hanford, and today we'll be taking a look at the color palette generation platform Coolors to see how we can use its features to support our service initiatives. For those of you who don't already know, this video is part of a tutorial series which accompanies my Digital Marketing for Good workshop. I created this workshop to teach high schoolers how to optimize digital platforms to expand the outreach of their service-oriented clubs and initiatives as part of my Girl Scout Gold Award project. I've created an awesome website where you can find the lesson plan for the workshop, if you'd like to teach it, and more resources just like this video. So if you're interested, links in the description, go check it out. I think it's pretty cool. As a disclaimer, according to Girl Scout Gold Award rules, I cannot provide advice on raising funds for any organization, so nothing in this video should be taken as advice for anything of that sort. With that said, let's get into the video and let's get into exploring what the platform Coolors can do for you. To start off with, why would you need a color palette generation platform? There's two main reasons for this. Number one, to make it easier to create content that is visually appealing, and number two, in order to create a brand guide or kit for your organization. So let's say that you're a service organization and you have a few team members who will be alternating on creating content for your social media platforms, for your website, etc. You want to look legitimate, so you want everything to be cohesive and the same across the board. But how do you do that, right? Because everyone's working off of their own laptops or possibly even their own programs. Well, one of the ways that you can do this is by creating a brand kit where there are a set number of color palettes that you use for all of your content, or for example, a set number of fonts that you use for different purposes, like for example, fonts that you would use for a PDF that is a report on the work that your organization has done. So this can really come in handy in standardizing and legitimizing your initiative. Color Palette Generator is going to make it super easy to find and share a lot of appealing color palettes and also create a little bit of extra content if you so choose. So let's get into what Coolors actually includes. So there's a free version which I'm using, and then there's also a pro version which is €3 a month if you're interested in that, but I'm just going to use the free one for now. So there's a few functions in here. First of all, palette generator. You can create your own color palettes. You can explore palettes that are already existing on the internet. You can pick colors from a photo to create a color palette, check for contrast, and even browse and collect free fonts. You can also create a gradient and make a gradient palette. And note that some of these you can't actually save within the Colors website without a pro account. So let's start the generator. Alright, so it's already generated this awesome color palette for me, but I don't really like it that much, so I'm just going to press the spacebar and it's generated a new palette for me. Now, maybe I'm still not a fan, so I can keep refreshing until I find, this is exactly what I want. I want it to be super colorful and bright to represent my organization's goals. So, I can save this color palette right here. I can type in my name, my organization, and boom, it's done. So that's a really easy way to just save a random color palette. Let's say you have no idea how you want to brand, you can do that. But let's say that you have a little bit of an idea in mind, but you're not sure what to do next. Like, for example, you really want yellow to be included, you love this yellow, but you're not sure like what other colors would complement that really well. So what I'm going to do is put the lock on here, and then I'm just going to press space again. And what that does is it generates a new color palette based on this color, and it changes all the colors but this color. So maybe I like this one, I like the brown here, but I'm not happy with other colors, so I'm just going to keep going, and I love this, so now I'm going to save it. Well, I could save it again, just like as a normal color palette, or I could also make it into a collage with a photo, for example, so I could add and drop a photo in there. Another thing that I might want to do is, let's say that I feel like this is not really the right temperature. I can adjust the temperature of the color palette and compare it against the original version, which is really nice. I can also increase saturation, brightness, hue, so really you can make this whatever you want. For example, if I wanted, let's say I like this, but I don't really like this brown color, so I want to adjust it a little bit, what I can do is click here and I can move it this way so I can make it maybe darker. So it's a really very customizable tool. So with that in mind, what are the other features that we can use? Well, if we go back to tools, we can also explore palettes. So let's say I really want to make a Christmas post and I want it to look nice. I don't want to use the default colors on my graphic design program, so I'm just going to click Christmas or search anything, any search terms that would work for me. And I really like this one, so I'm just going to save it with a heart. Christmas palette 2. There we go. And we're all set. So you can search tons of different palettes for all your purposes, which is nice, and save them in one spot. Another thing that you can do is actually use an image picker. So let's say you have a photo you really like maybe it's your brand logo even, but you don't know where the colors came from. You can upload this photo. Here's a default photo that the thing has given, and you can drag and drop to create your ideal color palette using the image itself, which is nice. So I've already made the palette, and now I could open it in the generator, copy the URL to it. I can also just download it, that kind of thing. Lots of really cool features here. I can also create a gradient really easily. So here, for example, I could choose like crazy deep blue with this, maybe I want like a crazy hot pink, and there we go. I have an awesome gradient which I can adjust and save. I can export it however I'd like. One other thing that you can do, which is kind of fun, is that you can go back to this palette generator and you can insert an image. So for example, I really want to choose this image by Norman Rockwell, which I think is really nice. And I've generated the palette using the image picker. Now I want to create a collage of it. And just like that, I can create a really cute collage and export this to my computer. And I could use this as a post, right? Like I could use this as a really easy way to take an image that I have, like a photo from a step up, in just a few clicks. To wrap things up, how would you actually integrate this into your graphic design flow? Well, you can go here to dashboard and you can see all the palettes that you've saved throughout the years. And you can also see, like, for example, colors, your gradients. I don't have any yet, but you can see all these color palettes, save them by name. So for example, maybe this is like your brand color palette 1, brand color palette 2 for different types of things. And you can use the hex codes to help you when you're working on a different platform. Or for example, if you're using a drawing platform, like for example, Adobe Photoshop, you might, export a PNG of this, put it into your drawing platform so that you can pick the colors very easily and stay consistent. In addition, you can actually use the collage feature to create content that you might post. So there's tons of different uses for coolors. I hope that you take advantage of these awesome tools for your service-oriented organization, and thank you for watching.